to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here. Now, if you've ever vomited, not just a bit, but a lot, you know how awful it is. But just imagine how bad it would be if you were vomiting for hours on end and there was no one there to help you and you felt alone and kind of, in a way, abandoned. Well, this hypnosis session was created for a child that had that experience while on a school trip and had vomited for more than 4 hours non-stop. Everyone else was asleep, teachers didn't care, and because of that, their brain adapted a bit of a coping strategy where they would get very anxious whenever they felt nauseous or thought that they might vomit. And this hypnosis session is designed to calm down their nervous system and have certain coping strategies that mean that they can relax, but also to change how they thought about that moment where their body linked it to a feeling of feeling isolated or abandoned or in need of help and not getting it. There's a bit going on here, but at its core, it's designed to help vomiting anxiety and the hypervigilance and coping strategies that came from that. So if you get anxious about the idea of vomiting, or maybe you have a child and your child doesn't like vomiting and starts to feel a bit anxious if they even feel nauseous, this session may be very, very useful. Just be aware, though, it was created for a specific individual. Some of the references to certain school trips or a screen that plays video games was because that was relevant to the client I was working with. It may not be relevant to you and your situation. So if you do like the idea of having a bespoke session, there will be a link in the description, but also on my website, adamcox.co.uk. And there you can schedule a free consultation call to explore working with me. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place, the kind of place where you're not going to be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that long, slow, deep, relaxing breath, and as you exhale, allow your eyelids to close, and with your eyes closed, feel a sense of release. Releasing tension, stress, and worry in your outward breath. Breathe in a feeling of calm relaxation, and on that long outward breath, give permission to your body to let go of any thoughts, worries, or feelings that have been bothering you, either recently or in the past. Breathing in that feeling of calmness, and as you exhale, just imagine as you're breathing out, it's like gently blowing on hot food or blowing out a candle that's far away. Slow, easy, controlled. And each time you breathe out, your chest, your stomach relaxes even more. not forced, just relaxing and loosening. And maybe your shoulders drop and your jaw relaxes. Maybe you notice your hands becoming still or twitching slightly. And you may even notice that your body already knows how to calm down. And position your body in such a way where you can really feel safe, calm, and relaxed. The deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I wonder if you can imagine a place where you feel completely safe. Maybe it's your room, your home, or a place you've been to. Because this is your imagination, it could even be a made-up place that doesn't exist, but you still feel safe. And in this place, I want you to imagine people that you love and love you that are there to help, people who notice, people who come if you need them. Maybe you can imagine your mother, your father, on hand if you need them. And in this place within your imagination, you are never alone when you don't feel well. And I want you to notice what this place feels like, a safe place with help when needed. A place where feeling safe doesn't mean that nothing uncomfortable ever happens. Here, in this place, safe means that if something does happen, you are supported. And just allow that thought to hold, to sink in. And now imagine a screen. Maybe the kind of screen that you would watch a movie on or play a video game. And on that screen is playing a movie about a boy who had a really difficult evening while on that residential school trip. And you're not inside the memory, you're watching it. Like you're in a cinema, watching it on a big screen. And in that movie, the boy didn't feel well. I want you to observe that boy vomiting, not just once or twice, but for a long time. Maybe when others were sleeping, but they were vomiting for hours. And the hardest part wasn't the feeling in the stomach. It was feeling that they had to deal with it all by themselves. And just notice that. And then pause that movie. Freeze it. Rewind it to before the vomiting even happened. And then imagine something different happening. I want you to imagine on that same residential, your parents were there. And when you start to feel nauseous or vomit, help is immediately on hand. Calm, kind, steady. These helpers sit beside that boy and they bring water. They ask if they're okay. They stay and they say, "I'm here." Watch that new movie and notice how you feel different. And you can make that boy you if you want. Watch it again and then rewind. And then play the movie again. And as you play it again, suddenly that boy doesn't look so anxious, stressed, or scared or worried. They still don't like the vomit, but they don't feel that it's unmanageable. And once you've seen it again, rewind it again, but then imagine going into the screen and feeling what you would feel like if, while on that residential school trip, people that cared were with you when you started to vomit. They had water, medicine. They wanted to make sure you were okay. And notice what it feels like when you didn't feel that you were alone. And just allow that new memory to connect somewhere in your body, your chest, your gut, your head, how it feels different. Imagine leaving that memory and still being in that safe place, perhaps near that big screen. And then bring your attention to your stomach, your gut, and just to check it and just to notice. And I want you to imagine inside your body there's a dial, a control switch, the kind of thing that you could change the volume of an old radio. And when you breathe out slowly, that dial turns down from an 8 to a 7 to a 6 to a 5 to a 4. And you're not forcing it to 0, just turning it down so you feel comfortable. Because your body listens to your breathing, and those long outward breaths can help calm your body so it doesn't feel like it's in danger or that something bad may happen. So every long, slow exhale tells your stomach, your body, to calm down. And let's try it now. A big slow breath in, but an even longer breath out. And just imagine dialing down just one number. And maybe that number represents nausea or worry or discomfort, but each time you have a long breath out, it reduces by one number, just dials it down. And I want you to imagine what it would feel like that you are learning control with that long outward breath. And there's something important, a new way of thinking. Vomiting is unpleasant. Nobody likes to feel sick. But it is temporary, and it's not dangerous. And it doesn't mean that you're on your own. And there will be some times that your body needs to do it. And it does it. And then it stops. And sometimes there's big storms that happen but don't last very long. But they always pass. And I want you to say quietly, just in your mind, even if I feel sick, I can handle it. Even if I feel nauseous, I can manage. And even if I do vomit, I can cope. And it's not because it's nice. It's because you are stronger than the nausea, stronger than the vomit. And each time you feel that you can manage it well, it makes you stronger for the next time. And I want you to think of a memory before that school trip. Maybe you can see yourself on that screen again, with your friends or with your family going about places. And I want you to think of a time when, even if you ate a lot, even if you were eating spicy food, you didn't feel worried, you didn't feel scared, and just step into that version of you. Like putting on clothes, but you're just back inside that version of you, like you're a character in a computer game, experiencing the world through their eyes. And I want you to breathe how that version of you breathed. Think what they thought. Think of a time when you felt nauseous all the way back then, and think that way again. You don't like it, but you know that you can manage. And that version of you is still here. Nothing was taken away. But after that residential, your brain just went into protection mode. And that may have been useful for a few days, but you don't have to stay there. And even if there are loud noises or scary news, your brain knows how to tell the difference between real danger and things that just seem a bit scary. But not every loud sound means something's wrong. And not every time you feel nausea means you're going to be sick. These feelings that you have, these sensations, don't mean you're alone. If you need to be sick, your body will be sick. But that doesn't have to mean you're on your own or that you can't handle it. So take another slow breath out and dial down one more number. And maybe it's already at 4 or 3 or 2. Every outward breath that's intentional takes it one number lower. The nausea decreases, and the anxiety or worry decreases. And then I want you to imagine a future moment that hasn't happened yet. A time when you feel a bit nauseous, queasy in your gut. The sensation in your stomach. Not big, something mild. And then imagine while you feel that feeling, you breathe out slowly. And imagine dialing down that sensation, reducing it. And you've done that before. You've played a video game where the volume was so high and you know how to turn down the volume. So just imagine you can turn down that sensation. You remember that you're not alone. And that feeling gets less and less. So that your body doesn't panic or escalate. And just imagine that future moment where you feel that you can handle it, just like you did in the past before that residential. You are not fragile. Your body is strong. There are people around you that care. And you are learning to be the boss, the leader. And every time you breathe out long and slow, you're training your nervous system to relax and calm down. And every time you calm down, even for 10 seconds, your body can cope better than it did before. And you don't have to feel perfect. You can just remember that you are supported, you are safe. You can handle discomfort. That's it. It's time to leave this place in your imagination. So just imagine leaving any screens or memories or ideas of the future and returning all the way to your present. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Connect with your body right now as I count from 1 to 10, and you will awaken, feeling calmer and more confident about the future. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.